Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela. My name is Fran and I'm one of the co-hosts for this podcast. We're so glad to have you with us this week. Did you miss us last week? Did you even notice that we weren't on the iTunes, the Spotify, the Podbean, wherever it is you listen? We just were living a crazy couple of weeks, and the best thing that we could do was record a Zoom, and we posted that on our YouTube page. So we'll link that if you want to watch that. We'd love for you to watch it. If not, totally understand. All right, this week's episode is a wonderful conversation between myself and our dear friend, Katrina Bazzoli. She's been on the show before, but she is just here this week to give us a strong word of encouragement, short and sweet. Short, sweet, and strong. And so, I don't know, I feel like that's just kind of where we are. We just need that right now. And that's what she's going to give us. We're going to bring her back in, a few weeks, because girlfriend has got a book coming out. Yes, ma'am, she sure does. She was obedient to the Lord and went and did the hard things that he was asking of her. So I cannot wait to talk to her about that, as well as what the book is about. So we'll have her back real soon, and can't wait for you to listen to that episode as well. Okay, are y'all doing okay? Everybody hanging in there? Listen, remember, the Word of God, He is everything to us through His Word. And so let me encourage you to be in His Word every single day. And if that is not something you are doing right now, well then open up the Bible, pick a gospel. I love John. And just start reading and get reacquainted with Jesus. No better place to begin. Okay, enjoy the conversation, guys. We love you so much. Have a great day. Okay, this is so much fun, Katrina Bazzoli, to have you back, because you have been with us 2 different times on this podcast. And so today is short and sweet and fun, and I'm anxious to hear what you have to say because we haven't talked about it ahead of time. So this is what I'm here to ask you, and then you can ramble all you want.
Perfect.
So we want to know, what is the Lord teaching you? What is He teaching you about yourself, about Himself, all the good things? Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
As ready as I will ever be.
As ready as you'll ever be. This is fun. So thank you for joining us today. And I don't know, just tell us where you are with the Lord.
Yeah. I'm a lot of places right now. So growing up, throw it all the way back.
Go back to.
I never really wanted things. I was always a pretty content child. I didn't want a whole bunch of stuff. And so I feel like that's kind of carried over into my whole entire life. Just don't want things. And I am one and a half year into my marriage, and I'm kind of starting to desire kids, which didn't want, I never had this vision when I was 12, I can't wait for a family. And so it's kind of strange to me because I was like, oh snap, I want something, but what if I can't have it? And so that's the first thing my brain went to when I started to desire kids. Because again, I didn't think about my husband and my family since I was a young child, which isn't a bad thing if people do. And so it was just kind of nerve-wracking to think of the thought of oh, what if I'm not able to, which is a reality for a lot of women. And so I feel like the Lord was or is teaching me that, one, I can be real and vulnerable with Him. Because He made me, He knows everything, He knows everything and every thought and every desire. But yet I was trying to hide that I didn't actually want this. I was like, okay, if I act in front of people that if I can't have kids, no big deal, then the Lord won't know. I don't know. It's just so dumb. And so I started wanting kids, and I was like, all right, I'll just act like I don't want it. Because I don't want things. That's not me. That's not my personality. I just won't want it. And then I felt like the Lord was like, you do realize how dumb you sound, right? I know your desires. And if your desires don't match with me, I'll let you know. But this is a good thing. And it's okay to desire it. And it's okay to have fears about it. But I'm here for you, and I'm faithful, and I have been faithful. And also there's a community of people who would pray for you if you told them.
Oh, this is so good.
And so I was like, but Lord, I kind of don't want to tell anyone. Because, again, what if I can't? It's a pride thing in all reality. It's I don't want people to know that I want this thing, and I'm afraid of this possibility. And so there was I think maybe a month ago in meeting, I have 11 RAs, and we were going around talking about how we wanted prayer. And the day before that, I was fasting because I had a doctor's appointment, and just to make sure everything was okay and all the things. But I was like, I'm going to fast because I'm going to remind myself that I'm dependent on the Lord. Like, I'm not trying to do all these things on my own strength. But when I was fasting, I met up with one of my RAs and then another friend, Miracle Gray. And then we ended up in Coach Campbell's office talking about a whole bunch of other things, not about me. We were talking about Hattie. And next thing you know, we're talking about me and my desires and my fears, and we're crying and praying together. And it was such a sweet moment where I felt like the Lord was like, I'm here for you, and people are here for you, and they're going to pray for you if you let them know these things.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. And so that next day in meeting, I was like, okay, guys, you can be praying that I'm able to have kids. And, like, it was just such a – because I'm pretty vulnerable. Like, when it comes to telling my story, I'm like, oh, I've done a lot of crazy things, this. Like, I'm open book when it comes to things that I've done and how the Lord has redeemed that and all those things. But when it comes to the things that I want, because I'm not used to, like, wanting things,
That
it
feels
was
weird.
It was so weird. And so I was like, okay, guys, I want kids. Can you be praying for me?
Right.
And I was so nervous. But, like, I literally feel like I felt this relief of, like, girl, you have a body of believers for a reason. And I'm faithful. And, like, although the world is broken and, like, you never know what the possibility is, I'm still here. Like, I'm solid. I'm a rock. And we're going to figure this thing out. And so that's one thing that I'm learning is how to be vulnerable with the creator of the universe and the creator of me, because he knows my desires. He knows my heart. And they're good things that I'm desiring. It's not like I'm out here wanting to be a millionaire so I can please myself. But, like, I want to advance the kingdom with kids. And I just want our family to be a light. And those aren't bad things at all. And so he's teaching me to put my guard down. Yeah. It's okay to want things. It's okay to ask the Lord for those things. And it's okay to tell other people and let them in because, again, really good at letting them know my past stuff. But, like, don't worry about what I want right now. Don't worry about my fears right now.
Well, it's kind of like, talk to me about, I think when we think about things like that, like in my mind, I visualize I'm going from A to B. I'm right here at A and I'm trying to get to B. But we also know that between A and B is a journey, and there's A.1, A.2, A.3, A.4. And so that process, that's where people get anxious and afraid and hung up or disappointed, overwhelmed, sad, you know, all those emotions that you've kind of already talked about. But let's talk to us just a little bit about that journey, because let's just, you have no idea what this is going to look like for you all. Yeah. You don't know the answer to that. And so when you think about that process of getting from A to B, what do you know? What do you know about yourself? What do you know about the Lord? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, I know the Lord is faithful.
You've declared it already. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm putting it out here. Here we are, everybody.
Yeah. So the Lord is faithful. I've never thought about adoption really until I got to Union. So that was way before I was thinking about kids, but I just noticed so many people in the Union community have adopted, but also like, oh, wait, obviously this is very biblical because we have been adopted into Christ's family. And so I'm like, okay, adoption is definitely a route I want to go to. And that was, again, before I was married. I was like, okay, adoption is a good thing. It's a biblical thing. So we've already kind of thought about that. But also, like, we have doctors and all the people who can do amazing things, and they just know a lot. And so really just, again, telling people what I'm going through and what I'm struggling with and having them pray for those things. Because it's so different to have people praying specific prayers versus telling them some vague thing and they're praying for me. And I know the Lord knows all the things, but, like, I want believers to pray specific prayers for me. So that means, again, that I have to tell them exactly all the things.
You got to keep them in the loop as you go down this journey.
And so, I've just been reminded that the Lord is faithful, and, like, the outcome of this doesn't change that. And so now, again, easier said than done. Like, of course, there's times where I'm like, but Lord, like, I never wanted this, so you should give me this because I don't want much. So go ahead and reward me with this. So I do have to, like, I I do have to pray to the Lord, like, change my mindset with this. You don't owe me anything. You know what I mean? And so I think, asking people to pray very specific prayers means I need to be vulnerable. So that's one thing.
Not just a one time.
Yeah. And I haven't, honestly, fasting isn't something I've done much of, but I want to do more of. I used to always say, like, well, I don't know exactly what it means to fast, so I just won't do it. But in reality, it's like those moments where I'm trying to do all the things by myself in my own strength that I'm like, oh, no, I need to depend on the Lord. Like, and I want to be reminded every time my stomach growls that I need the Lord. And so I think that process of fasting, within this process of trying to have a baby, is something that I'll probably do a lot of, just because I want to be reminded that, again, He is faithful. The outcome of this doesn't change that. And, I just want to be reminded of that because it's easy to forget it. Again, my pride comes out, and I'm like, I'll just do this myself.
Well, and we just ask. We just ask these things and then just kind of move on. Like we kind of flow in and out of that 8.1, 8.2, like sometimes we're strong and steady, and then other times we're just kind of like, not really in tune with Him. And so anyway, is there a scripture that you're hanging on to or anywhere in the Word that you're reading right now that's helping you?
I honestly, and is it 1 Corinthians? Oh gosh, I don't know. When Paul just talks about that his perfect is made, or his strength is made perfect in my weakness. Right. Because I do have to remind myself that I can't do it all. And so that verse has been kind of like sticking in my brain of like, He's going to be glorified in all of this. Because I am going to be very weak in moments where I'm like, Lord, are you sure? Or whatever the case is. And so that verse has been in my mind a lot. It's just realizing that it's okay to be weak because He's going to be glorified through it all. Right. And I need to stop trying to do it all by myself. Right. So I think I started to realize that I had this desire in my heart, but I wasn't communicating it to Him at all. Again, going back to, well, I just won't let Him know these things. I won't be vulnerable. And so, I think vulnerability, especially in our culture, is quote unquote weak, even though that's not the case. But like, I'm okay with being weak. That's like what I'm trying to tell myself and remind myself. Like, I don't want to do this by myself. So reminding myself that, His strength is sufficient and is what I need.
Oh, this is so good, Katrina. This is so good. Well, I guess we've now brought in all the listeners to join us in prayer for you guys over this. And I don't know, we'll bring you back on along the way and give us an update.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It'll be great.
I'm excited.
No matter what.
Yep.
The Lord is good, and He is faithful always, no matter what.
For sure.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening to this short and sweet ramble with Katrina. You guys have a great day. We love you so much. We'll see you next time. If you love this podcast, help us keep getting great guests and high-quality content by leaving us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. You can always like and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. Be sure and share us with a friend. And did you know that we've also got a YouTube, Rambling with Fran and Angela? Subscribe to that. And also, are you following us in our Facebook group and on Instagram, Rambling Through Everyday Life? Just search and find us. Thanks for listening, guys. We sure do love you. We'll see you next week.